Today we will look at what a 9-year-old child should be able to do in volleyball, and we will continue where we left off last time, with conditioning.
We can start straight with the spike, that dream skill we admire in players like Jan Galabov or the Brazilian star Gabi.
The path to such a spike is quite simple. First, the child must learn how to throw properly, and that is no small task. We need to build a clear image of arm movement. Some children pick it up by observation. Others need us to patiently guide them through exercises, helping the movement from the outside. We start on the knees, then move to standing by the net. We add exercises emphasizing the pullback of the elbow. We try standing on one leg so the body gets used to the slight instability that later comes with jumping. Then comes the throw and the jump. And we once again remind ourselves that the elbow must first move back before it can rise upward and forward.
Only then does the actual hit come. At first, somewhat paradoxically, with the elbow, so the child understands its upward path, and finally the hit while standing on the ground, the foundation not only for the spike, but also for a good topspin serve. Even though some children at this age can go a step further in spiking, this is more than enough for 9-year-old players. The rest will come with time, and with the game itself. Right in the first clips, we see a small secret of the spiker's approach. It has 2 key points: a long penultimate step with the right foot landing on the heel, and a final step with the left foot slightly turned inward. Nothing complicated, yet decisive.
If we look at the bare feet, we immediately understand why. The foot is active, the big toe of the right foot engages, the body decelerates and prepares for takeoff. But as soon as someone lands on the toes instead of the heel, everything goes wrong. The foot loses its function and the takeoff is lost.
After a small correction, the same 9-year-old player looks quite different. Here we could already nod in approval. With older players, we then see the same movement in an even cleaner form. In training, we use aids such as floor markers, or drills focused on the correct inward rotation of the left foot. The long step with the right foot is also accompanied by a strong arm swing. We check this simply by throwing tennis balls forward. If they fly forward, we know we are close to the goal, and for 9-year-olds, this is exactly where the goal lies. Anything beyond that can wait for a later age. Our excellent libero, Milan Monique, shows us the next topic with a single defensive action. Anyone who wants to play well in the backcourt must not be afraid of the floor, and must be able to fall just as confidently as to get back up.
Even simple things help here. Knowing how to roll, controlling one's own body, and since we are volleyball players, we also add reaction. Fast, alert, without long thinking. The basic fall that both boys and girls can learn is the side roll. We teach it step by step, first on mats, then on the floor. We can also support it with partner exercises. After all, the game often helps itself through play. And what is enough for 9-year-olds? This movement in its simplest form. Diving for balls can wait. Every skill has its time.
A 9-year-old child must also be able to start the game. It will not yet be with the power and intensity of Georg Grozer, but we still want them to learn the overhand serve as early as possible.
We use a similar approach as with the spike, with one small difference. The ball must travel differently. In the serve, it follows a different trajectory. We guide children so that the contact is directed upward, helping them build the correct perception of the ball's flight path. They learn to strike the ball above themselves, sometimes even slightly behind. After a toss from the coach comes the player's own toss. We make sure the ball drops toward the head or the hitting shoulder. And we insist that children use both arms. Even the non-hitting arm has its role and must go upward. Then comes the serve itself. First from a short distance, from 3 meters, then from 6, and finally from the full distance.
You might ask, why teach a 9-year-old child blocking? They do not need to block yet, but they should learn to stabilize the trunk and arms and gain a first idea of what blocking actually is, for when the time comes. We use an overball, which is soft and safe. We teach children to reach their arms over the net into the opponent's court, first from the ground and only later in a jump. At this stage, it is not about blocking itself, but about understanding the movement and about removing fear of the incoming ball. We also practice it after lateral movement. All of this is a quiet foundation of habits from which a real block will grow.
We now come to finger work, and who better to take as a model than the Bulgarian Nikolov. Unlike the previous skills, finger setting must be learned immediately, otherwise the child cannot really play. But even here, a proper teaching progression is necessary.
First, the child simply gets familiar with the ball. They discover a subtle contact point between the index finger and the palm, the key joint that should most often communicate with the ball. They roll the ball, lift it above the head with elbows above the shoulders. After pushing against resistance, they move into catching the ball with correct hand positioning. In other words, they form a basket with their fingers. The ball lands there and rests for a brief moment like in a comfortable bed. After a successful catch comes the release of the ball. The player can try it alone, but it works better when the coach tosses the ball. In this way, the child gradually learns the language of the hands, even with different types of balls, a volleyball and a basketball. Eventually, the game itself comes into play. Red finger mini volleyball or other preparatory games where hands and feet learn to work together as the player moves correctly under the ball.
And finally, the forearm pass. The child stands on the court, the ball approaches, and one thought flashes through the mind: calm arms. That is the whole secret. But how do we achieve it?
The fingers interlock in various ways, but the key is that the contact comes on the little finger side of both wrists. The forearms come together naturally up to the elbows. The arms are straight, turned upward, elbows forward, wrists down. The shoulders move slightly forward, the head tilts down, the back rounds. For now, only a slow ball is coming. We call it a free ball. What do we do with it? The arms stay calm, but the shoulders make a small forward movement. And the legs? They are not standing lazily together. They are apart, wider than shoulder width, with the weight on the toes. At that moment, the whole body is ready.
That is why we teach children to keep the ball on straight arms. They often tend to swing their arms like a baseball bat, as we see here, and that is not what we want. We look for exercises that lead them to calm arms, for example, by having them stop a bouncing ball on their forearms.
From the very beginning, one simple and uncompromising rule applies. The legs must be active, the arms must remain calm. This is how ball control continues to develop. In this drill, the ball already travels over the net, still slowly in an arc, so the child has time to read the trajectory and respond with foot movement.
We are almost at the end. We have endless possibilities for developing volleyball literacy in children up to 9 years of age. And the more diverse foundation we provide, the more confidently they will find themselves in the game one day.